Welcome to the Clutch Burners Podcast. This is your home for stick shift drag racing, stick shift tech, and all kinds of stick shift talk. And tonight, well, got my regular co-host, Canadian Chuck Norris. I'm Bang Shift Billy. And Rich, who's our awesome guest tonight?
Well, it says Ethan is his name, but he's my backseat driver from Sick Week.
Yeah?
From Heathens Garage, we have Ethan VanerVelden.
There you go.
VanderVelden. I love it. What's up, Ethan?
Yeah. How's it going, guys?
Really good. I had the privilege of meeting you when Rich and his dad swung through my house to get south as fast as possible for the drive to Sick Week. And it was awesome to meet you in person because you're kind of famous. I mean, you're like,
Well,
it's like PBR, but it's professional. What's your tractor? What kind is it? A Kohler? No, not a Kohler. It's a,
I think it's a Massey Ferguson or a Ford Ferguson or a Fordson, depending on who you ask. But
yeah, so PMFR, professional
Yeah.
Massey Ferguson rider.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of your claim to fame, isn't it?
I think the claim to fame might be more falling off of it than riding it, but take your pick there.
So maybe for people who don't know, and it's had like, I don't know, 5 million views, but just give us a quick, tell us about yourself in that video.
All right. Well, to preface it, I make YouTube videos. It's my hobby. That's what I do. And I had a couple old tractors, and I didn't grow up on a farm. We had a little acreage, and I had plenty of chores, but I didn't grow up on a farm. So I don't know anything about hauling tractors or hooking up attachments or anything. But anyways, I was making a YouTube video where I was going to use this little baby tractor this was my grandfather's tractor. It's from the 40s. And I was going to haul my big case that I use for plowing snow. And it's, like a decent sized 90 horse tractor. And I hooked it up to the little baby tractor. I thought this is going to go great. And I threw the chain on the top link of the 3-point and went to go give it a tug. And well, I learned really quick that tractor is for traction. And despite the rain and anything, it didn't spin a tire at all. It just stood up and tipped over. So I took a little tumble and had a lucky bounce on the ground and got out from under it before it crushed me. But
Nearly
anyways,
died.
we had it. Yeah, it was real close. It was real close to a bad day. But whatever.
And you caught it on like 3 camera angles. It was pretty impressive on accident, right?
I thought it was going to be just the most righteous looking, like this little baby 25 horse tractor pulling this big thing out of the bush. And yeah, well, we'll put the drone in the air and a camera behind and a camera in front, and they all caught me just flipping over. So
nice.
Yeah.
Rich,
and most importantly, I mean, this show's called Clutch Burners, and that was the problem. Burn the clutch. You dropped the clutch.
Well,
it all went bad from there.
Yeah. There needed to be some slippage there, I think, is what needed to happen.
Nice.
Well, and
now, Rich,
I did.
What do you got? Oh,
I did grow up on a farm, and I will tell you, nobody ever told me not to hook it there either. So, like when I saw that video, I thought, "Holy shit, he almost died." But I also thought, I'm glad you showed it, and you and I have talked about you have to make a decision whether or not you just bury that really quick and move on with life and just keep it as your own little sad story, or if you share it, and sharing it could potentially save somebody else's life. So
Yeah.
as crazy as that video is, and I'm sure go ahead.
That certainly went through my mind as far as like I sat in the grass after and just stared at my tractor that's, wheels up at this point in time. I thought, nobody has to know. I could just turn it back around and leave. I'd ordered parts to fix it before I ever walked back home or anything. I was just like, I could just turn it back around and nobody needs to know. And then I was like, well, somebody else is going to use a tractor and doesn't know either. Somebody's going to do the same thing. So maybe it'll help somebody else from not doing it.
And
What
how
did your
many
wife
views
say?
has that had?
I think we're upwards of 20 million across all the platforms somewhere. So yeah, it got
Wow.
plenty of
Wow.
attraction. Not to mention how many like millions of repostings it's had from whatever else when guys steal it and take it that way. But which is fine with me. Go ahead, take it, use it, show it.
Nice.
Yeah, that isn't why we brought Ethan on, but we thought we might as well get that out of the way right away because that is a pretty freaking crazy story, and we're lucky to still have him.
Yes. Yes.
But you know, part of the reason that Ethan ended up in the back seat of my car was kind of that video a little bit where, if he's brave enough to share that, he's probably brave enough to challenge me for making any stupid mistakes on the way to Florida or help me troubleshoot stuff or um so anyways, after that, and well, actually before that, Ethan and I had chatted briefly about if there was an opportunity for him to come for a ride. And I think I had asked him once already and he turned me down. I don't know.
Well,
I
there
guess.
was a broken car involved in the first try because that was Rocky Mountain Race weekend. And then I
But yeah,
think you went up for something else, and that one I had to turn you down for. But
yeah, streetcar bragging rights. That's right. Yeah, you were
that's
supposed to
right.
come on Rocky Mountain Race Week, and it ate. That's when it ate a chunk of aluminum. So that was kind of out. And then yeah, streetcar bragging rights. It was a really late ask, and but you never know. There still might be another opportunity for another one of those trips. So
So
let's go back. Let's go back and like you said, you do YouTube for hobby, but you got like you when did you start making YouTube videos?
in earnest, I started in January 24. So the first week of January 2024 is when I started posting. I said then I'm gonna post a video every week for. At the time, I said 2 years, and I'm not gonna miss one. Like every week, I'm gonna post it 2 years straight, and we'll decide from there what we're gonna do with it afterwards.
So you're
Okay.
basically a millionaire now then.
Yeah, that's how that works. No, but um, we're a lot further than we ever like planned on being, as per se. I thought if I could I wanted to get 1,000 the first year, and then the second year is like I want to make $1,000, and that was the goal. And now we're at I think 6,600 subscribers or something, which is 5 times more than I thought we were gonna have. So that's pretty cool. At
Well,
least for me, I think it's cool.
you might pick up 5 more subscribers from this alone.
Hey, that'd be great. I value every single one.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. So maybe I definitely want to dive into the whole trip to Florida because Rich, you had a lot of stuff going on. And talking about doing things early, what you got the cat in your lap, so we don't get to hear him at the end of the podcast, right?
Yeah, if he annoys me, I'll throw him outside and then you can hear him whining back to get back in. But yeah, he's probably gonna bite me here shortly. You know, he's old and grumpy.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I definitely want to hear about that. But I mean, Rich, you and I both have YouTube channels, and Ethan, well, you were at my house. You got Rich's stuff finished up to be monetized, and he made money while he was sitting here at my counter. It was crazy. So maybe talk a little bit about for people that have YouTube channels, like kind of what the process should be, like subscriber counts as goals, like just some of those bits and pieces. Like I'm not that familiar with it. I am a little more after just even talking to you for like 20 minutes, but just educate us a little bit. I think that's kind of interesting.
Sure. So there's a couple tiers of monetization. The first one, which you can find it all through their studio app and whatever else, but the first one I think is they want 3,000 hours of watch time in 1 year and 500 subscribers. And that watch time will only count on long form videos, not shorts. And there's other stipulations to get shorts. It's a lot though. It's like 3 million or something in 3 months. Like it's quite a bit to do shorts. You have to have a few that hit off viral. If you want to do it on long form videos, basically uploads is your key. Like upload lots of them, and that's how you get watch time, like, and subs, obviously, but
And what constitutes a long form video?
anything that's shot horizontal over 3 minutes, I think.
Oh,
Because now
so
they'll
3
actually count
minutes?
shorts. Yeah, 3 minutes
Okay.
is considered long. Anything after that.
So with a short attention span, if you could nail 3 minutes, you're killing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
yeah, and
society
then
today in a nutshell.
yeah,
Right, right.
exactly. Yeah. And then the second tier of monetization, that first tier, it nets you the ability for people to gift you money. So if they're valuing your content, then they can, send you $2, so you can set up a membership kind of thing. Which neither of those things I wish to participate in. I was kind of like, sorry, my dog's going nuts. Um, but the second form is where you actually will start to see some money that just comes in from advertising revenue, and what feels more like natural and like, okay, I'm getting paid from a third party. Whereas the first one kind of feels like it's nice that someone's giving me money, but maybe that's not what your desire is, as far as like maybe for me, I didn't want it to ever feel like I'm taking money from someone who should be spending money on their race car. Like that was just sort
Or
of a
their
personal thing, just like
tractor.
whichever. Yeah. That is, I'll throw that out there. It's a frustrating thing for me. I have a grand total of like 250 videos or something uploaded. 3 of them are tractor videos. And in my top 5 money earning and views, all 3 tractor videos are there. It's just like, I didn't
Nice.
want to make tractor videos. It's just what I was doing that weekend.
Maybe John Deere would like to give you some money.
I could use a new tractor, apparently. Maybe one that has one of those auto shutoffs or a degree
Yeah.
sensor or something.
Or a clutch,
Perfect.
or a clutch that you don't push backwards to get it to engage.
Well, there was some naggles there. I would have missed the clutch anyways if I had managed to reach for it, but whichever.
Yeah, well, and I had a YouTube channel. I don't know how many videos I had, and I thought I went through all the checks and everything, and it wasn't until this latest trip that Ethan went in and went, "Oh, you just didn't click this one button." And so I had 0 revenue for when I started the trip on sick week, and uh, so far I got a check for $455, and I think there's another one. I mean, I might make $1,000 on that trip from YouTube. I don't think I
That'd
really
be
made any
ideal.
money on the trip, but
That's
but it was pretty cool. It's kind of fun to, and I mean, the second part of why I think I made any money was because Ethan uploaded all of the videos to my channel. So
rich.
greatly appreciate that too. I don't know that my content is going to be anywhere near as good as Ethan's, but it was a pretty fun start, and quite motivational actually. It makes me think I gotta keep dropping some videos, and for
Rich,
me to drag it.
you got to tell your wife you made money on the videos on the trip. That's what you got to tell her.
Well, yeah, I did. I showed them.
I
Don't
mean,
worry.
that's why you went, because you're making money now. That's what you tell her.
Yeah, yeah, it totally
It's
offset.
free now. It's basically free.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's awesome. It's
Basically,
awesome.
yeah. And so, should we look? So if you get and go have a look on HeathensGarage at all Ethan's videos. I mean, he's got a whole pile of them. Everything from rebuilding transmissions to putting turbos on cars. He's done some drag and drive. There's a little bit of everything on there. And so if you're
Yeah,
an auto
that's
enthusiast, you should go have a look. It's good stuff. Ethan makes good content, and I laugh a lot, except for when I just about cried when he, tried to roll over himself there. But
So, Ethan, I'm anxious to hear about the whole sick week trip. You put 7,000 miles on the back seat of that GTO with your butt.
yeah.
So tell us about the trip, the experience, hanging out with Rich and his dad, like all of it. Like, Yeah, I want to hear it.
Man, I think the first thing I want to talk about, just like my initial expectations going into it, like I had some big hopes as far as like, man, there's like some people I really want to meet. And I sort of had my list in the head, and I was like, man, I really hope I meet like Tony and Tess from AV Boys and Miss Midnight Maverick. I was like, I want to meet them because they're cool. They do stick shift stuff. I was looking forward to that. And Tommy and Allison and like Bill from Old Man's Garage. There's just this list of people that I had. I'm like, I'm going to get to meet these people. I'm so excited. And then you get there and you do meet those people, number one. And it's like, oh, this is meeting your heroes, and it didn't suck. Like it wasn't disappointing. It's like, oh, they're just people, and they'll talk with you and you'll have a conversation. That part was really cool. And then there's all the people you didn't know that you needed to meet. And that was like just as good. Whereas people I didn't think of, like Keith Turk, I didn't know I needed to meet him. Turns out I did. And that was like, I was so excited to meet him. And Rovik, like a huge one was Rovik. That was one of the guys really looking forward to meeting him. And then you meet his co-pilot JP. And it's like, I want to be friends with this guy for a long time. And that part was like, that was definitely big highlights for me as far as sick week. As far as the drive down, I got a cushion in the back of the car by the end of the trip. I should have started with it because I was sore for like the next week after. And I did my best to not complain the whole trip, but I was sore for a week after.
There was a caveat to that though too. You came down to the dyno, so you rode in it for like 3 hours before hopping in and going 7,000 miles. So I did give you a bit of a window to do an ass check.
Yep. 100% you did. Like 3 hours is different than 30 hours. There's that about it.
That's true. That's true. That's like a part-time job versus a full-time job.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'd do it again in a heartbeat, to be fair. Like, I wouldn't hesitate. The seat wouldn't turn me down, cushion or no cushion. I think I'd get some wooden beads. Just, they're a lifesaver.
Are you talking about like anal beads?
No.
Oh, different.
I don't think.
Oh, like the ones for the seats.
Like taxi beads.
Oh, got it. I wasn't quite sure what you were talking. I don't know what kind of road trip this was.
No, like the wooden beads that you put on the seat.
Bill, we're not Americans.
Not.
Got it.
Yeah. No, that's definitely don't need any of those.
Okay, so your the back seat wasn't quite as comfy as you thought, and it's just a factory seat, right, Rich?
It is. I've actually tried to like stuff some extra cushions and stuff up underneath it to try to help. I mean, if you're sitting in the middle, it's hard to avoid the tunnel hump. If you sit off to the side, I think it's a little better, but it's also pretty tight back there. So
yeah,
he never complained.
Can confirm it's a lot better on the side.
Perfect.
But like I say, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Like, just for the experience, I wouldn't even hesitate. And it was like the drive down it felt fast because we did a lot of miles in a short period of time, but definitely the stops to visit a few people along the way yourself, Bill. And then we stopped at Work Turbos, and there's a couple others on there that I'm drawing a blank on, but like just that part of it made it like an adventure. And I don't know, that's one of the things I was really craving with it, was just, I want to see the adventure. And the drive down is just as good as the destination, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Did we have any problems on the way down? I'm trying to remember if the fuel pump. Off.
Yeah.
Was that on the way down or the way back? I can't remember.
That was the way down. That was like, I think we were still in Alberta when it happened.
Did you say the fuel pump fell off?
Well, it didn't really fall off. It
fell off.
Fell sideways.
It just fell off.
Like the high.
It was dangling by the hoses. I think that calls falling off.
That's not falling off. Falling off is like separating itself from the car. This just was hanging down and leaking fuel. And somebody was like, I'm like, why is that guy pacing us and looking at us at the window and waving? Oh, so I put my window down and he's like, you're leaking fuel. You're leaking something behind you. And yeah, anyways, I thought it was in Colorado actually, but I
You
think
might be
I thought
right.
it was on the way to, that's who you didn't mention. You didn't mention Tom Stark. Yeah, we stopped
Yeah,
at
that
Precision
was on the way back.
Design. Yeah,
We had lunch. Well, we had lunch with them.
yeah.
I met you for
Yeah,
that too. That was
you might have been
pretty
there
great.
too. Yeah.
Oh God, he so easily forgets.
Well, the funny part is, Bill, you actually met Ethan at Miles of Mayhem last year, right? That's where you met him first.
Oh, probably, yeah. I was too busy. That wasn't the year I was too busy winning, was it? No, it wasn't.
No, it clearly was
I
not.
met you the year you won too, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen. That was a very brief introduction.
Yeah, Rich was too busy doing the rain dance then, and then I just didn't want. Then I won,
Yeah,
so it was
which
good.
didn't work.
No, it did not. I
Yeah,
wish you could do a snow dance right now, honestly.
Yeah. Not here. We need an anti-snow dance. All I can see is
We
white
need-
out my window.
We need snow. We've had almost nothing this whole winter. It's been just insane. As you saw when you were here, it's totally dry.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That
Yeah, we
seemed
stayed-
okay with me, not gonna lie. It's easier to go drag racing when there isn't snow on the ground.
well, that is true, yeah. But,
Yeah, and we got really lucky on the way down. Like, I mean, there was all kinds of people telling us to stay home, and because of the snowstorm, and the only place it was bad was in Mississippi. The ice in the middle of the road. There was literally two tracks, and ice in the middle of the road and ice on the side of the road, and it was frozen hard enough that it was trying to relocate my brake lines for the front of the car. But it, we had the same method of attachment as the fuel pump, which are breakaway zip ties. So it didn't break the fuel line. It just kind of folded it back, and we folded it back and zip tied it back where it was. And
oh my God.
it was very strategic, right?
Just as Pontiac designed it.
When Rich says breakaway zip ties, they're just zip ties that broke. They're not special zip ties. They're just zip ties that broke.
Man,
Like if the zip ties break when they need to break, are they not breakaway zip ties? Like, I mean,
you know what I love about this, Ethan, is you're like illuminating the actual truth.
Well,
and we had to. What else did we have to do when we got there? We had to massage your seatbelt bolt a bit. I don't know. That was probably because you were
oh yeah.
sitting on it a little bit, but it was trying to cut the drive shaft in half, but it didn't. It didn't accomplish it. It just took the paint off a little, off the brand new Mark Williams drive shaft. But
Well, the one that's actually not painted.
it's got the coating on it. It's
called
the indicating
it's anodized. Yes, it's a very nice, expensive coating and drive shaft. It ain't paint.
It's an indicator that if you're rubbing, and so you can find out where you rubbed. Clearly,
If I recall
it worked.
correctly, the little bit of rubbing it did on the anodizing was the least of its problems by the end of the week, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
True story. You can tell
Okay,
Ethan's
so let's
gonna
talk
throw me under the
about
bus.
that. Since we're talking about Mark Williams parts, let's talk about the torture and abuse she put that brand new, beautiful drive shaft through.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember if it was like day 3 or something. I told Dad and Ethan that there's something wrong. Like something feels funny in the back end. So when we got to the track and I jacked it up and climbed underneath, I disconnected the drive shaft from the pinion yoke, and one of the cups was like completely dry. The ball bearings in it were, well, the needle bearings were all like, yeah, it wasn't pretty. So we replaced it right away. And then, I guess it was day 4, wasn't it? It was day 4 of race day anyways. Yeah, day 5 of the event. And then 3 passes later, broke the brand new yoke or U-joint. So, when you take out 2 U-joints in a short period of time, it's probably not the U-joint. So one of the upper ears on the diff was loose. Not the ear itself, but the spherical joint. So yeah, I'm getting cat hair all over myself here. Stupid cat. So that made for quite an adventure because we still had one more race day to do, and we were on the backup drive shaft that I was supposed to throw away after the last event. So yeah, that made for an interesting. The drive went good, and then yeah, the last pass went pretty good too. But we could back up to the beginning before we get to that. We don't want to tell you the end of the story before we start the story.
Yeah. I'll vote for that.
Yeah, going there this time, I knew that Chad Fagley and Darren, what the heck is his last name? I was going to say Fitzgerald, but it's not that. Anyways, I knew that there was 2 cars showing up that both had better than 850 cages, and if that there would probably be 3 of us fighting for third place, or a bunch of us fighting for third place if they both finished. Unfortunately, Chad broke the output shaft on the Corvette. Like, I don't know if it was even in testing or if it was day 1. You remember, Ethan?
It was in tests. Oh, now I don't remember. I was gonna say it was before you had to. Yeah, it was either testing day 2 or day 1 of racing.
Yeah. So he was out right off the bat, and Darren is like a Coyote stock racer, very very smart racer, and he had a 750 cage. There's a whole bunch of us.
Can I add something? So he's driving a Ford, so of course he's a smart racer, right? You said it just now, so.
Well, you said it. I just said that he was driving a Ford. So yeah, he had a Fox body with I think it's a Coyote in there with twin turbo. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan.
No, that sounds right.
Fast car, I think at testing he went 828 or something. And then I would say that he wasn't trying to do 849 the whole week just so he could barely beat the rest of us. I think he was pushing. I think he wanted to run a 7, but I don't know what his average was by the end of the week. But he was running low 8s all week, and I was pretty convinced that he was not going to break his car, and he was smart enough that he would be taking home the orange helmet, and he did. So I changed classes when I handed in my time slip at the end of day 1. And I unfortunately picked the wrong class because there's 2 850 classes. One of them is very strict, and then the other one you can get away with more. So you can have more fiberglass parts and stuff. And I thought because the water tank was in the trunk, that used to be a rule in drag week, it would move you into the faster class or the class you could get away with more. But anyways, it didn't matter. My goal was to see how close I could get to 850 for the week. So I changed classes after day 1 and went into the 850 class. So it was still a lot of fun, but slowing down sucks. I'm just gonna say it. It's not easy to slow down.
We should talk about testing day 1 and the good value you got.
Oh yeah, yeah. Testing day 1. So I'll tell people, and I showed Ethan that my typical plan when I go down is like the last few tanks of gas, I'll throw seafoam in to try to clean some of the carbon up from the 3,000-mile drive. In this case, I did that, and then I'll usually the first pass I make, I'll usually put 10 pounds in it and see what it'll run. This time I put an 850 tune in it, or what I thought would be an 850 tune. First pass right off the road, it went 837 at 169 miles an hour. I let off the gas, and one of the injectors said, "Actually, I'm good. I'm just going to stay wide open." And so I tried to start the car, and so the car died, and which is not normal for my car. Usually, I'll kick it into neutral and coast, and it'll still be running by the end of the track. And this time it was not. So I tried starting it partway down the track, and you can hear it in the video that it tried to start but wouldn't. I got off the end of the track, tried to start it again, wouldn't start, went and packed the parachute, came back, tried to start it again, and went cuckoo, stop. It stopped dead and hydrolocked. And it was like, oh no. And so Chris Hine happened to be there. And so I think I actually tried to start it again, which, in hindsight, probably not the best move, but it actually turned over the next time. But clearly it sounded like things were tight or something was not happy. So, and of course it's all on video, which, is good and bad, but, anyways, yeah,
Chris Hine's exact words were, that sounds tight. That's all he said.
Yeah. And then I made Chris Hine's week because he towed me back to the pits. And, of course, he's videoing it. And I'm like, I watched the video after. I'm like, why are you smiling so much? And, clearly it was entertaining. But when I tried to start it the second time and it turned over a couple of times, there was smoke like coming up from around the car. And I'm like, well, Ethan rolls up and I'm like, remember that box I said, do not brake unless emergency? Like, we might be into that box, because I'm thinking, I don't know what I thought. Like, I heard a piston, or I didn't know.
What
had no
what
idea.
is this box? What is this box?
It's the box that has spare pistons and bearings and stuff that you don't want to have to use
ever. No.
I mean, I just put brand new pistons in it. The motor was completely freshened up, so, and it was turned down. It wasn't, it wasn't turned up. I thought I had it like an 850 tune in it, but so anyways, we get it back to the pits. You see how Ethan is stuck rubbing his eye there? He's probably having memories of us trying to troubleshoot what the problem was. How did we do that, Ethan? How did we figure out what the problem was?
Most logical step was to pull all the plugs and make sure none of them were smashed first, and then see if it turns over after.
Did it spray fuel in your eye?
A little bit. And I was prepared for like a little bit of fuel, but I kind of forgot like big inch Pontiac, not like, it's not a Ford small block. This isn't a 3-inch stroke anymore. Like it's a lot of fuel that comes out in a hurry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a face full, but it was diagnosed at least.
You had your safety glasses on.
Well, only by chance.
Right. Oh man.
And then he said, I think it came out all the cylinders, which, made my heart sink a bit. And he's like, but I have a video so we can watch the video. And so we watched the video, and clearly it only came out of one hole straight into his face. But
nice.
That gave us, I went from thinking, we're going to have a long couple of days trying to, pull heads and pistons and solve the problem. We got lucky on a couple of cases. One of them was fuel injector dynamics. Through Matt Blasco, I got the number of the guy whose injectors I was running. He gave me enough confidence to say, this is not an injector problem. You probably had carbon from the chamber go back into the injector. And I said, oh, I thought that was an outie, not an innie. Um, but he was like, yep, we see it all the time. And so we flushed it, didn't get anything out, put it back in, hydrolocked the motor again. After it was running, like we stopped, it wasn't running very good. Pulled it off again, and then I don't know. Hey, Ethan, how long did we spend flushing that thing back and forth?
Well, we started like in the morning, and it was dark by the time we left. So, because you were about like when we first went up, you were second in line, and two-step didn't work. And we went back to the pits, fixed the two-step, and then you were probably 10th or 15th car in line. Like it was morning.
That sounds
Oh,
like a
two-step
full-time
didn't work.
job. Again, it sounds like a full-time job again.
How come the two-step didn't work?
Well, Rich, tell me why you might not want the two-step to work, I suppose, is the first question there. Under what circumstance would you want to turn that off?
Yeah, if you want to do a burnout and not be limited to whatever your two-step is, you should put a switch in your car. But you should also remember that you put a switch in your car. And it was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Is it is interesting when like Ethan and I really didn't know each other much before this trip. So, I don't know what Ethan's like in a panic situation. Mind you, I had a pretty good visual of, his response time and stuff. But as far as troubleshooting, I really didn't know, like, I mean, anybody that's played with cars enough know that sometimes some of your buddies, you just want them to go away while you're trying to solve a problem because they're like, this is the problem, and there's no conversation. But Ethan was very good that way. Like he was like, I went to try to figure out why the two-step wasn't working. I look at the clutch switch. I follow one wire, it's running to ground, and I'm following the other wire to the ECU, and I tell Ethan what I'm doing. So I get to the other side of the car, and he does the same thing as me. He follows the one wire and says it goes to a switch, and I'm like, no, this is going to ground. It's not going to a switch. And he's like, oh, it seems like it's going to a switch. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to a switch. And I'm like, well, I might have argued with him a little longer, but eventually I was like, yeah, I remember now. I put that switch in so I could bypass the clutch switch and do a burnout without being limited. So anyways, that was a pretty easy fix. We just flipped the switch, went back up, and and checked the two-step in the pits. And
So
yeah,
basically it worked as intended. You just forgot that it was intended.
correct.
Okay.
I had a
I love it.
question
I
about
love
that
it.
actually. I noticed the rest of the week you'd left the two-step on because you ran it to the two-step, then dumped the clutch to the burnout. Is that intentional? Like that's fine. You continue doing it that way?
Yeah, in fact, what I learned when I put the switch in and would go up there, it's actually harder to try to or let me rephrase it. When you're used to just basically almost putting it to the floor and dumping the clutch at 4,300, if you flick that switch, you put it to the floor, it goes to like 7,200, and you just get used to a routine. So my routine is 4,300, dump the clutch. Part of the reason that I put the switch in is because my old mentality when the track was shitty is I would drop RPM down to like 3,600. And when you're at 3,600 and you have a slipper clutch, you can make smoke from underneath the car more than you can from the back of the car. And so that was part of the reason I put the switch in. Now I never touch the launch RPM. I pretty much leave it at 4,300 and make other adjustments rather than launch RPM for shitty tracks.
Interesting. And I have questions we can ask on here, or I can talk to you offline about potentially shitty tracks and radials, because you have a lot more experience with radials than I do. And I am registered for Big Sky Race Week, and I understand some of those tracks are runways. So not prep tracks. And I'm trying to figure out if I bring my slicks or if I bring my radials now.
Yeah. I haven't ran on any of those tracks, so it's a good question. I'm going to give you no advice because I might be going to Big Sky too.
Oh, so you're not going to help your buddy with a little advice. And it's not just me, it's the people listening, the 5 people listening to the podcast that might want to know.
Yeah,
I'll turn my headphones off and then you can answer the question. And I promise I won't go back and listen to it.
yeah, you know what I have learned is lowering the launch RPM in my car anyways just gets you into trouble with a slipper clutch. It seems to me like I have to drive the tire into the ground on launch very hard, and then you can modulate it from there. So I never, like I did 133 60 foot, but I still have a timing pull of like 12 degrees at 0.25 seconds, like right after I drop the clutch. So it hits the tire, then it pulls timing, and then it reintroduces timing. And there was lots of people that were saying like Gainesville was a shitty track, and they were struggling to get down. They were spinning, but the only time I spun was in, I think, one of the test sessions or on day one on the second pass, and the clutch switch just needed adjusting. So it was releasing the 2-step before the clutch was fully engaged, and then it knocked the tire off. But I went back, adjusted that, and then it never spun the tire again the whole event. So
Is that when you
I
pulled
am
shims
probably
as
going to.
well?
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you pull shims at that point in time too?
We pulled the shims like before, I think, even testing, like maybe
Okay.
even on day one of testing. But I think that had to do with the fact that the clutches wore out, the pressure plate was kind of wavy, so it was basically wearing the clutch in, and when it wore the clutch in, it just wasn't flat anymore. I have since sent it back to Kale, so
You should
I
talk
have a
about
different
that.
clutch.
Yeah, you should talk about that. I think that was a really, really great idea that you had. And so talk about what you did, why, and how well it worked.
Yeah, so I mean, on these drag and drive events, you really don't know how many passes you're going to get, how much time you're going to have, and there's a good chance that you're not going to have a lot of free time. So I know that on a long drive like this, and then as I get more into a competitive class like an 850 class, you just wear the clutch out more, and so you're making more passes. I mean, this the second year I went to sick week, I made 6 passes. So this trip I probably made close to 15 passes. Heavy car, slipping the clutch a lot more. Really, the alternative um, is on our clutches, anyways, where you don't have adjustable stands, is you got to pull everything off. You got to pull the transmission off, the bell housing off, the pressure plate off, reshim the whole thing, put it all back together. You know, it's probably a 3-hour job to do that. So I decided I would put removable shims in there. I know they're all 30 thou. I figured that was about the right range for me, where I would have to adjust the clutch rod enough that, you know, it might fall out of where it's supposed to be. And so between the dyno that I did before I left, the drive down, it felt like I'd wore some of the disc out. So when I got there, I just wasn't happy with how it was feeling. So I pulled all 12 shims out. It reset the clutch. I didn't have to pull any of it, and I could do it through the factory hole in the bottom of the brow bell housing. So it worked really well, actually. I just put the car back together. I put 30,000 shims in again. So at this next event, if I need to pull some shims, I'm good to go. Worked great. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to have a look.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great idea for sure. Ethan, I hear your dog. What kind of dog is that?
Yeah, he's a bulldog.
Nice.
He's going a bit nuts right now. I'm gonna get him a treat so he stops barking at me.
That's good.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
the thing. Like having Ethan there and filming, and you know, um, doing some mental checks for you too, like asking some questions, ready to fill fuel up, all that stuff. Dad does a bunch of that stuff too, but sometimes Dad is just in a comfy spot somewhere, so it's kind of nice to have. It's nice to have actually three people to turn the car over and do all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I have to
yeah, it was.
I have to say a a good co-pilot is like you can't do it without one. At least at this level, I think. It's really, really tough. Like it would be super tough, if not impossible, just to do it with one person. Like even just a little bit of help is huge, but a really good co-pilot, man, it just makes all the difference.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Is Ethan locked up for you too, or is that just
Nope,
my
Might
video?
nope,
be.
no,
Are
he's
we
good.
there? Now we're there.
I can hear his dog chomping on those biscuits. He's got the best mic ever. He's like the best guest from an audio standpoint yet.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
You should start a YouTube channel or something.
Yeah, I could advise people on what mics to get.
Yeah, actually, why don't you?
DJI mini mic is the best bang for buck by a long shot, in my opinion.
Is that what you have on right now?
$39. Yeah. $39 gets you the receiver and two mics. So if you've got a guest or whatever, then you're set that way.
So that's wireless. It's like a Bluetooth deal or something?
Yeah, it'll plug into your phone or it'll plug into a good camera or whatever you need it to.
Nice. Okay.
And that's like 139 Canada bucks, so probably $4 US and you're set.
Well, $4.99
Okay.
plus tax. So
Yeah.
$6, $6.
I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown, and then we'll go back to Ethan. But yeah, so first pass, plug-in injector. My guy says it's a piece of carbon. We finally flush it out enough. We get a little piece of carbon in the piece of paper towel, and then that was it. We never had any more fuel injector problems. That clearly was the issue. Test stage 2, it went. I thought I turned it down more. It went 837 again at 169 miles an hour. Test pass 3, I think it went 853. So I was like, hey, I might know what I'm doing. And then I might have knocked the tires off in testing or day one. I can't remember. Anyways, the last pass on the paid test day, it went 8503. And I thought, damn, son, I might actually know what I'm doing. Registration, we were able to register on the paid Saturday, so we really didn't have to do anything on Sunday. So we just kind of took it easy, did an oil change, did a bunch of that stuff. Day one, went out and went 861.
I have a
Next
question.
pass went 8.
I have a question. So you turned it down to what to go 850? Like how much boost was that to go 850 from 837?
I went to about 15 pounds from probably 18. And then I was literally like tweaking it like about a pound a boost. Frankly, I think if you're going to do these classes, you probably need traction control and you probably need to run the dots to be as consistent as some of these other guys to win some of these classes. And so I got to figure that out at some point, or just put more bars in the car, one of the two.
Is that the plan?
Okay, we'll keep working through the week here.
Because I think you said you got a bigger turbo on the way.
yeah, so day 1, the next pass, it went.
My mic must be broken. It must be.
I don't think he can hear you. Maybe ask him again.
Do you have a bigger turbo coming from work turbochargers?
No,
Yeah, you're such a liar.
I don't have one coming.
No,
I
you're
didn't
gonna
say.
pick it up on the way.
I might pick it up on the way to streetcar bragging rights, but I don't have one coming. Shipping to Canada is brutal.
It's cheaper just to drive to Arkansas, right?
Pretty much. That's not a lie either. So yeah, I think second pass, I might have knocked the tires off. Anyways, the other pass that I made was an 843, so it went too quick. I was struggling with, I thought was driver error. I thought I was leaning on the shifter and it would cut once in a while. I'll get into what that was in a minute, but so then I was up in staging to try to make another pass, and unfortunately that's when somebody hit the wall and shut us down. So I didn't get to make a third pass. I actually think the third pass would have been an 8.5 something. So 861 day 1, day 2 in where were we? South Georgia Motorsports Park, I guess. Yeah, in South Georgia, I went 860 on the first pass, 850 or 867, 860, and then an 854 on the third pass. So I was pretty happy with that one. Day 3 got rained out. Day 4, what happened on day 4? Oh, broke a drive shaft on day 4. 860, I didn't break the drive shaft, broke the U-joint like I described earlier. And then stole the yoke off old man Bill's car because he had blew his motor. It was major carnage that day. There was Kevin Smith like knocked the whole side of his engine block off. Finnegan had rods sticking out of the pan. Bill blew his motor up, low oil pressure, because he had bottomed out the car earlier in the week. Trying to think if there was anybody else that blew up there, but anyways, Bill's car was just sitting there, and clearly he didn't need the yoke anymore. So, and it was a strange yoke, exactly the same as I had. So we jacked his car up and borrowed it. And I mean, I was a gentleman. I put my broken one back on his so that the car would still move forward and back. And then we had to put my old drive shaft on, and my old drive shaft that I broke at Six Smokies literally had a TIG welded yoke on it, and they told me to throw it away when I got home, but I threw it in the trailer, and thankfully I did. And then the last day, I because I had no more backups, and that drive shaft was clearly not the best drive shaft. I told myself I'm only making one pass, and so I put what I thought was a softer tune in. I actually put in the 8503 tune from day 1, but the DA was 1,500 feet on the last day, and when I went 8503 on testing, it was like minus 1,200 feet.
Ooh.
So I thought, clearly it's not going to go quite as fast, but I do have closed loop boost, and anyways, I made the pass. It was clean all the way, and when I got to the end and I saw the dragging number of 851, I'm like, oh no, I hope I didn't go too fast. And anyways, when I picked up the time slip, it was 8503. It was the fastest 850 pass of both classes, actually. Nobody went quicker than 8503. My average was 8567. I got fourth in 275 out of 25 cars. So I was pretty happy with that. I thought for a first time competing in 850, I was pretty happy with that number. But just quickly, the issue that I had when I was cutting, and was another thing about having somebody like Ethan along who's got his cameras inside your car is I was pretty convinced I wasn't hitting the shifter, but it was cutting. And then it cut exactly the same place in 2 passes, and Matt Blasco had updated the firmware. So I'm like, dude, like I told you I didn't want you to update the firmware. And he's like, it's not the firmware. And I'm like, well, it sure is weird. It's doing it at the exact same spot. But I said, but then when I was looking at the data, that the air to water intercooler had also quit right at the same time. And so then I started looking at the switch that I turned the air to water intercooler on, and it shared a ground with the shifter cut knob. And so it was that loose ground was causing it to do a shift cut right up until Orlando, I think. And then that's when I figured it out. And since I've got home,
I have another question.
I've rejigged that. Yeah.
I have another question. Was that ground attached with a self-tapper?
No, it wasn't. It was a
Ian says,
it was a sheet metal screw.
What the hell's the difference between a sheet metal screw and a self-tapper?
Well, they're clearly different. One of them has like can make its own hole, and the other one can just screw in. It no longer is grounded like that now.
I'm gonna pull my hat down over my eyes. You know, you should never ground anything with a self-tapping screw, right?
It wasn't a self-tapper. Did you not hear what I said?
I'm sorry. A sheet metal screw either. It falls on the same principle. You should never do that.
I will say it was surprising to me when I saw it, but I wasn't going to make any judgment calls because I've done way worse stuff.
Oh, my
in way slower cars, but still.
My mouth, my face is hurting from laughing at this.
24 successful events. It can't be that bad, but you live and learn.
True. That's
every
true.
event,
That's true.
Every event, you just try to make it better than last one. So it no longer has.
Oh, I was going to say, just keep it like that because we're going to be at some events together this summer. Just keep it the same way.
That problem has gone away now. We will not do that again.
Oh, good. Good. Did you zip tie it instead?
Yeah, of course. That's with removable zip ties. Yeah. No.
Breakaway style.
Right. Breakaway style. That's amazing.
Enough about that part of it. Back to Ethan. So what did you think of the caliber of the cars, how the event was run? Some of the other people that you got to hang out with.
As far as caliber of cars, like if you want to see variety, that's a place to go. Like I expect to see a few like for instance, so my experience with Drag and Drive, I've done Miles of Mayhem a few times in Canada. That's basically my sum total of experience. And then I follow all the other events when they're happening. But like at Miles of Mayhem in Canada, you expect to see a whole bunch of, moderately built sort of 10-second cars and a few really fast cars. And then a whole bunch of like junk that I'm driving. Just, it's a thrown together car that might be fast one day and it might be slow the next day. Who knows? But Sick Week was like, it's a lot higher caliber of car across the board. But to my surprise, there's still cars that show up and run 15s and they're just as happy to be there as well, which I always appreciate the stuff that's like just run what you brung kind of deal. But if you want to see nice stuff, that was really cool to see. Like just cars that I'd never heard of, never seen, people that I've never met, and just like, this is just incredible. Like you meet the Taylor family and that kind of thing. Like that's a pretty serious car. And you can just you walk up and these people are real. They'll talk to you and like you'll have a conversation with them, and it's not like you don't get tackled by security or anything. Like it was a lot of I fanboyed pretty hard there for a little while, and I was like, okay, just be cool. You're with Rich. You got to be cool about this a little bit. There was a moment in time where I was like, okay, just relax. I did feel a little bit very privileged in the fact that I felt like, I'm kind of with Drag and Drive royalty. Like I'm I'm in that group of people. I just need to try and act like it a little bit. So that part was neat, but
Well,
like
he is the king. I mean, literally the king of drag and drives.
yeah. Well, and I knew that going into it, but I don't think I knew what that meant as per se. Like it's just
Well,
because
it means
to
your
me, Rich
ass.
was
Yeah, it means your ass is going to be sore for a week. That's what it means. without the wood beads.
yeah.
Let it go, Bill. Let it go.
What was the next half of your question there, Rich?
Yeah, it was the caliber of the cars, and what'd you think of the event itself? How Sick Week was run compared to some other ones. I mean, there was clearly still lots of cars there. I think Tom expected that some of the cars still wouldn't show up, but I think he let in I think we were at like 350 cars still started the event, 352 or something like that. I can't remember.
It was somewhere close to that number. It was a big number of cars. Like it's that part's like that's shocking. It's just how because you only get one or two runs. Like that'd be a tough thing. Like especially coming as far as we did. It's like we're gonna drive 3,000 miles. It's gonna take us 3.5 days to get there, and then we're gonna go do one pass every day, which we never did, other than the one test day. But it's just like that's a commitment to expect that, which we did pretty well. I think we got 2-3 passes every day, other than the last one. So
What
but it
what would you guys estimate the attrition? Typically it's like 20-25%. Was it about that as well?
I'd say the high side of that for sure.
It was
Okay.
84 cars, I think Michael Nark said didn't make it.
And there was 352 to start?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, that's 23.8%. That's yeah.
Yeah, it was I mean, what'd you think about going to Florida in January or February?
Yeah, that part was a total ripoff. Like as far as the weather goes, that was not my nice winter holiday that I was expecting. When I checked the weather at home is colder than it is in Florida, and it was or whatever I mean to say there. But it was
Other way around, yeah.
brutal cold.
Yeah, other way around.
It was
Didn't you have
brutal
didn't you have
cold.
to
How many
buy
layers?
didn't you have to buy
How many
clothes there?
layers were you wearing?
I didn't go a day without less than 3 layers. Like I had because I came dressed in long underwear, and by the time we were in Florida, I was in my long johns and my pajamas and my pants over top and every hoodie that I brought with me, and yeah, I don't do
'Cause
well in
it's
the cold either, so
because it's like a humid cold. It's different, right?
it's cold. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
They're not kidding when they say when wet cold is colder than dry cold. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I actually felt
Damn.
for all the people that didn't have heaters in their street cars, but I'm pretty happy we had a good heater in ours.
Yes. That's part of a streetcar is you still have to have a heater. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. And we
Yeah, there was some
oh, go ahead.
there was some things there as far as like the GTOs, it's a legit streetcar as far as that goes, and some things that I took as because every car that I've ever wanted to build, I'm like, well, it's got to do street duty. Like I'm not into drag cars that just go down the drag strip. They have to do street duty because that's 90% of my year is street duty. You know, like I only get to go racing, let's say a dozen times a year. Well, that's not very many times over the course of 365 days. They better be able to drive me to work or something so I can enjoy them a bit. And there were some things that I was like, oh, that's how you make that comfortable. You know, like just make sure you have the cup holder and have some plugins so that you can charge your stuff up and actually use the car and it's not frustrating and just a bunch of stuff that modern cars have that have been adapted into that car. Even the power windows was shocking to me. but why not? You know, for the extra 3 pounds or whatever it adds per side for just a comfortable standpoint and full interior. Like even my Jeep, which is still at 4,600 pounds or something. Well, I gutted the carpet out and gutted the headliner out. And part of that was because it had a mouse infestation. Part of that was, oh, I'll save the weight. Why? Why don't you just save that weight? That weight makes the car comfortable, because that thing miserable to drive in comparison. And like it was when that Jeep was new, they were like the luxury comfort vehicle, and I've destroyed it because I was trying to make it race car. That was a terrible mistake, which I'll remedy in the future.
It's too funny.
Yeah. And we where else did we stop on the way down? Once we got to Florida, where did we end up?
KSR.
Yeah. And you met
That was neat. Met Kevin and Tom Bagley.
Yeah.
Reno, I believe we met. There was someone else, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, What No Way guy we met, which we knew him already, but he was there. So that one was totally unexpected, of the Kevin Smith stop. Like it didn't occur to me that that's the person that we're going to meet down there. And then I don't know, like
he's part Canadian pretty much. So.
Like all the Canadians were there at one point in time, I think. But yeah, he's a really good guy. Like just a really humble individual and happy to talk. And you know, you can learn from him in minutes what takes hours and years to gain otherwise. So that was really cool.
Yeah, quick story there. When we got there, he had Reno's car on the dyno, on the chassis dyno, and they had been struggling to get it to not make too much boost. So they ended up putting an electric e-gate on the cold side and started controlling the boost on the cold side, and Kevin dialed that thing right in. In fact, I think the last day Reno went 750, and he was low eights for most of the week. And so that was pretty neat to just see how he could use the Holly system, the E-gate. I don't think he was playing with the wastegates at all. I think he was strictly controlling the boost from the cold side and dumping air off the cold side. So that was pretty cool to see.
I think I've heard that it's an interesting tactic, because you can keep the turbocharger within a certain speed and a certain point of the compressor map, and then you're just bleeding boost off like that instead of on the hot side with the typical wastegate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had never done it before, but he figured it out, and clearly he got it to work really well. So
yeah, he's a pretty smart dude for sure.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Ethan.
No, I was just going to mention, like, I got to meet Tom Bagley, who I'd never heard of, and just didn't know that, oh, I need to know that person in life. Like, he's just a cool dude. He's from the UK, and he flies down to Drag and Drive. He's got now a 9-second Fox body LS deal. And it's just like, oh, there's other people that are just like, he's just going through life. This is what he wants to do. And he's making it happen however he can. And I don't know. I was like, I could be friends long-term with this guy, and hope to be eventually. That was cool to meet him. And I got to work on his car a bit while you talked with Kevin. And I had to look up everything Kevin was doing later and read about it, because like, this is like grown-up turbo stuff. I don't know what you're on about. Like, I believe you that it's pretty cool, but you're way above a level that I can follow along to.
Did you get enough tacos on the trip?
I would have went for more. I love tacos. I could eat with Rovig every day.
Yes, I'm with you there. Yes, definitely.
And I've told the story a few times, but why don't you tell the story of the taco guy from New York?
Yeah, the guy who yells at you for asking for 2 of the same tacos.
What?
So we're following, I think we're driving with Chris Wozniak from WAF Racing, and Ramsey, and of course Rovik and us. And Ramsey's picked this taco truck, and we drive around, and it's sort of just almost the middle of residential, but I don't know. It's a taco truck. There's a little tent there, and we're like, okay, this is where we're eating tacos. It's, it's got 5 stars on Yelp or whatever he's looking at. So we pull in there. There's this New Yorker, and he's caught somewhere between the most angry man I've ever met and the best salesman you've ever met. Like, I don't know which one he was, but he yells at you if you pronounce the tacos the wrong way. He yells at you if you want 2 of the same kind, because why would you get 2 of the same kind? And in this, I don't even want to try and duplicate New York accent, but it was one of the best times ever. Finally, towards the end, I pulled out a camera to try and catch some of the moments, but yeah, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah, my favorite part of it was like we all ordered after we all got shit for something that we were doing while we were ordering, and he's like, "Go sit down, and when the tacos are ready, I'll bring them over to you." And so my dad, 83 years old, thinks I'm gonna go up there and see if our tacos are ready. Well, let me tell you, that's a big mistake. He goes up there, stands in front. He doesn't even like go up to the window, but he's standing in front. And a New Yorker, we might as well call him like Tony or something. I don't know. He's like, what do you want? You want a hug or you want to fight? I told you when the tacos are ready, I'll bring them to you. Go sit down. And I was like, oh, Dad, like scooted back to the picnic table. He was so
Oh
good.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That was
awesome.
a treat for sure.
And that was also your first exposure to many burnouts, hey?
Definitely to be as bold as just, yep, this is a street. I'm stopped. Now is the time to do a burnout. Like it was that, like in Canada, we go somewhere, we find a secluded place, and there we do our burnouts. And there'll be like, there's roads that are like, this is where you go to do burnouts. Everybody does burnouts on that road, and the evidence is left behind. If you're traveling with Rovik, it's any road, anywhere, regardless of traffic, they will wait for me. And it's one of the most admirable thing I've ever seen of just, no, I'm doing a burnout. You can go around or you can wait behind me. I don't care, but I'm doing a burnout right now. And that was pretty special to be witness to.
And the police are fine with that.
Well, I don't know. I didn't ever see him get a ticket. I didn't ever see cops when he was doing a burnout either. So
fair enough.
I can tell you the cops are not fine with it here.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And Rovik did one burnout to the point where he was had wire brushes rubbing the inside of his inner fender wells. Like he cleaned the rubber completely off so there was nothing but cable showing. It was the most impressive thing ever, actually. Like it was absolutely perfect. There was no rubber and just steel belts left.
So he got his money's worth. He got his money's worth out of that tire.
He did it, and the most impressive part was he had no spare tires with him. Like he's like he literally calls me after the smoke clears and said, "We got to go find tires. I'm pulled over up the street." And we get there, and yeah, the tires are completely done. Like there's wires sticking out, and yeah, it was impressive.
That's awesome.
But when
That's awesome.
there's a way. We literally were what, 5 minutes? I think Ethan found a tire shop. We were 5 minutes away from what was it, a Pep Boys?
It was a Pep Boys, and a Pep Boys is a place like I'd always heard of, and I wanted to visit one. I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was on my list of like, we don't have Pep Boys in Canada. I want to see one. So I got to see one.
Oh, that's fantastic. So many bucket list items, it sounds like.
Yeah, there was a lot, which more than I ever realized, but yeah, a lot of them checked off too.
And I think you still owe me like $20 too, because what else did we visit a couple of times?
We did visit a Buc-ee's, 2 of them. Brisket tacos, I'll tell you what, those are the best ones.
Yeah.
Like if you want $6 well spent.
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm surprised you got out of there for only $6. There's so many
Well, it was per
snacking
taco.
opportunity. Oh, yeah. That's why you owe him $20.
No, he owes me
I'd made a
$20 because go ahead.
So when I was making the video, Rich had said, "Okay, we're gonna stop at a Buc-ee's," and then because the fuel tank in the Pontiac's so small, not the mileage. There's nothing wrong with the mileage it gets. It's just the fuel tank's too small. We ended up stopping, probably 20 miles short of the Buc-ee's we were supposed to make it to. And I just put a caption that said, $20 says we're never going to make it to a Buc-ee's on this trip. Because I'd make a point of saying I'm excited to go to Buc-ee's. And then we ended up stopping at least 2 on the way back.
2 of them.
That was 2. Oh, yeah. In the same day. Like, I still had a brisket taco left over from the first 4 I bought. And then I bought 2 more.
That's money well spent. Like, it's almost like
Absolutely.
a lunch investment is what that is.
An investment, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. So we haven't talked anything about Ethan doing stick shift drag racing. And I don't even know if we should ask him the questions. But
Sure.
Ethan, do you have a stick shift car? I mean, we know you have a stick shift tractor.
Couple 3, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple. The daily driver's I call it the winter beater Mustang. It's an SN95 with a 5-liter and a T5 in it.
Nice.
And then the fastest thing that I've ever owned is my it's 87 Dakota. My dad bought brand new. It's a 5-speed truck as well. It's got a small block and a turbo on it.
Nice.
And then
Small block what?
Small block Mopar.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a blend though. Like, I know you tried to accuse me of being a Mopar guy early in the week. I was just like, well, there's a little bit of everything floating around. At heart, I'm an AMC guy, but I did find out Modern Driveline offers everything to put a TKX behind an AMC small block. So I think we're going to go that route with the Jeep in future planning because that's the way it is. But I've certainly spent enough time rebuilding automatics that A, I'm sick of doing it. B, I'm not that good at it or successful. And C, I don't really want to do it anymore. So I think we'll transition everything over towards manual and not play that game as much anymore.
Sounds like you're getting smarter.
One more. Well, yeah, I have one more automatic to do. And that's due to actually, tie that into YouTube for half a second. There was some benefits in, even though the channel's small, like as far as mine goes, it does attract enough attention from select businesses, individuals that you do on occasion get offers for sponsorships. So the next automatic, and hopefully the last one I'm doing, it's a Ford AOD. And it was simply because a company reached out while I was rebuilding that Turbo 400 and they said, "Hey, if you're doing another one of these, let us know. We'll send you something." And it's Total Transmission Chicago. Shout out to them. Gifted me a torque converter, and it was like, just here it is, shipped to you. They gave them the specs to my camshaft and told them what I was building. And they said, "Here you go." So, and I chose that transmission by wandering out to the field and being like, well, what do I got that has an automatic? And Ford AOD was the only one I had. So I was like, well, I guess that's what we're rebuilding next. But yeah, it's looking forward to that anyways. Hopefully the last automatic, nice. And then we'll be smarter going forward.
Nice.
What's good. Currently running in the fleet?
Most of it. Obviously the Mustang, the 3/4 ton that I call auction truck. I bought it. It was actually the first video I published on the channel was rebuilding the engine for that one, or working on it anyways. I bought it at an auction. It was dirt cheap for a 3/4 ton. It's a 6-liter automatic 4x4 deal, but rebuilt it on the channel. It got a hot camshaft, and I tried to figure out how to be a tuner on HP tuners, which I'm still the only guy who's touched it. It seems to move itself around. It's got some stumbles here and there, but I'm figuring it out as it goes. Well, that's the one you just borrowed, Rich. Is that one?
Yeah, so it's working. It worked great.
I didn't warn you that I rebuilt it. It seemed to make it there and back, but it was a long time ago. So
It's got a little oil leak that hits the exhaust, so there's a little bit of
yeah,
fragrance
that's
once
pretty annoying. Yeah,
but
that's the old you buy the cheapest gaskets you can off Amazon and then you pay for them again later when you buy better ones. So we just haven't got to that second step of buying better ones yet. And then the Mustang, the Jeep, the Dakota, and we're currently working on the Ranger that's getting that little pink 302. That's a project for my cousin. She's gonna do the junior street NHRA thing. She's got 2 more years she can do it, and she seems interested in drag racing. I'm like, well, like someday I'm gonna get old and I'm gonna watch other people drag race, and hopefully she's one of them. So that's a current project. I think I've got 51 days left to get that truck together, and then we go racing with it. So
that'd be cool.
yeah, it'll be good.
And the Dakota probably should be the fastest thing that you have?
It's tough right now. It's got a bone stock 318 with a great big turbo hanging off the side of it. Because I think it's like a 88 mil turbo or something with a dead stock, like doesn't even have a camshaft in it. It worked really good with the 360. It wasn't anything incredible, but it was, probably 320 horsepower naturally aspirated. So it had decent heads and cam and whatever else. And now it's got a bone stock 318, which it still spools up quick and it works. It's not the forever plan, but it's the thing needed to be out of the barn because I have a white shed and the roof just doesn't leak. It was, came with the property that we bought, but I call it the penalty box. And when the project has made me angry because it's broken, which is usually due to my own misfortune or, stupidity, I put the project in the penalty box till I'm not mad at it anymore, and then I'll take it out. And the Dakota was in the penalty box for like 3 years. And finally I dug it out. Like we need to make it run and move again and drive. So I put a 318 in it, which honestly, it cost nothing, which was the big perk because I needed to do something for the YouTube channel. That's one of the things that it does net of, okay, I'm going to make a video every weekend. There's no more, I don't have to do anything this weekend. Nope, you got to do something. And in that case, we're putting a small block into the Dakota because we have a small block and we have a Dakota. And that's as much thought as goes into it. But in it went, and honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed turning it into a winter car. Like it's great to drive. It's absolutely hilarious with the stock 318 and the big turbo hanging off the side, and it doesn't spool till like second gear, but once it's there, boy, does it pull hard for a little while.
That's awesome.
What else do you have at your house? I think you have a racetrack at your house.
Yeah, I got a rally track. So aside from drag racing, I love autocross and I love rallycross racing. Only done at a pretty low, very amateur level, but it's great fun. And so we bought this property. We bought 20 acres. I always wanted this particular acreage that I'm living at. It's 2 miles away from where I grew up. And like I drove past it every day on my way to school. And it's like, I want that acreage someday. And it came for sale. And it was like arguably more than I should have afforded. But it's like, no, this is the one I wanted. And it hasn't been for sale the last 20 years. It's probably not going to come for sale again. So did what I could, beg, borrow, stole. And here we are at this acreage. But it's a terrible shape. It's got 5 sides. I'm not a farmer. I don't know how to farm on 20 acres and make money other than grow vegetables, which I'm not doing because I'm a mechanic by trade. But we had this odd shaped pasture, rough land that it's great soil, but I wasn't interested in growing anything on it. And my brother came over with the skid steer and he's like, well, let's build a rallycross track today. And then he spent, I don't know, the better part of 10 hours in a skid steer. And then we had a rallycross track, and it just it got more beat in by cars. Like, we're talking thousands of kilometers we've driven on that thing, like between 25 cars that we've broken or driven on it, just like field beaters or, stuff that has insurance write-off, whatever we can find for cheap. And yeah, we just beat on cars out there. We'll have big events with a bunch of people, and the big barn that I work in, the loft, which was hay storage, we sort of turned into like a big bar for hanging out in. It's tables and chairs and whatever else up there, and built a big deck on it. And it's just a great time. Like, it's summer, winter, whatever kind of pastimes. So do a lot of that outside of that's, yeah, like, I love drag racing. It's my favorite, but if you need to do something on a budget because you just bought an acreage that you couldn't really afford, Rallycross is where it's at. Like, you can have a lot of fun for nothing, basically, driving a car around in a field.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Is it totally flat, or are there some whoop-de-doos or jumps on it?
It depends on the season a little bit. Like, in the winter, it gets a lot rougher than it should be, but it's a pretty flat pasture. It's all the corners have been banked by now, just by virtue of driving on it. Like, they're as banked as they're hard to stand on, kind of banked. I don't know what that would be in degrees, but like, you're there's plenty on there. Like, it's uphill climb to climb over them. So there was some we had to take out. Like, we had some really off camber corners, and like, we put cars on two wheels. Like, we put a Sunfire just about on its roof, just driving around the track, because the corner was sharp and off camber. And like, if you came around it fast as you could, which obviously you're always going as fast as you can, like, oh, the car's now on two wheels and we're headed towards a fence. It's not quite ideal. So, but yeah. And we've had a rollover. Like, it happened one time, but it was fine. Everybody was okay. So we learned our lesson. That became the no more 4x4 trucks rule that came into play there, and just everything's fine after that. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
in Rallycross and autocross both, I think, like, if you do it unofficially, they have this rule of wider than it is tall. And it turns out that's not a bad rule at all. Like, that actually really cuts down on accidents. If the car's wider than it is tall, way less tippy.
That's smart. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And what's your next event that you're going to do?
Well, at the moment, we're looking for sure on April 25th. We've got just some NHRA test and tune stuff that I'm going to show up for. We're going to get my niece into that Ranger and get her trained up and driving. She did a season. They let us race at Rimby for street legals. So she's had a bit of time behind the wheel, just there. And then we'll get her a little more practiced up on a pro tree and everything else that she needs to learn to hopefully be competitive in that. And we'll get her trained in the little Ranger that we're building, and then I'll stick her in the 5-liter Mustang too, because it's slow enough that I think she's allowed 9 seconds in the 8th, and that's right about where that car is. So we'll get her trained in a stick and get her trained in the automatic and go from there. And then my next event, other than whatever I can do for bracket racing and other stuff, will be Border Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which
going to be a good
we
time.
don't plan on we're not really going to be competitive in that unless I really get my button gear and get some stuff done. But for me, it's really about like supporting the event and also just being there racing rather than being there as a fan or being there in the stands, because it's just better to be racing. It doesn't matter if you're the slowest car there. It's better to be racing than sitting in the stands.
You get it parked in a way better spot, if nothing else.
100%. And you get
It's
the
expensive
wristband
parking, but
yeah. Well, you get a wristband, and then when you walk up to people, they're like, "Oh, he's a driver. He's somebody." Like, yeah, I'm driving the slowest car here, but you don't know that. So
That's good.
yeah, that's
That's
April, or sorry, that's June 6th, right?
6.
Yeah.
It's right over race
Yeah,
week.
yeah, that didn't didn't work that good for that event, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Ugh.
yeah, so we're still trying to decide if you're going anywhere else in April. You'll have to keep me in the loop whether or not you want to ride in the front seat.
Yeah. Well, it sure is tempting. A guy's gotta. I have to find holidays and find time somehow. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it for bragging rights or not. I'll have an answer for you by the end of the week, but
Perfect.
we're not too confident about finding time if we're totally honest.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all good. I appreciate everything that you did coming to Sick Week and all the filming and the video. I think we still got one more video to come out. Hey,
Yeah, one, maybe two. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to
We're
see
gonna
him
do
too,
for
then.
sure. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do one to finish it, and then I'd like to do like just a blend of the best and make like, Sick Week the movie and make, an hour long of everything that's good and try and tell a story that way as well with some voiceover and whatever else. I'll probably send you a script to read for me, but that kind of thing.
yeah, I have to say I have a lot of respect for, well, a couple things. So watching Ethan in the back seat coming down, how much time it takes to put on a production as compared to just putting a YouTube video together. Like Bill, Old Man Bill is one same thing where, here's our productions. Some people just make YouTube videos and some people put on productions. Ethan, in my opinion, does a very good job of putting on productions. So it was just cool to watch, educational for me to decide, do I want to put on a production or do I want to put on a YouTube video? So more to come on that. We'll see if I can blend it a little bit in there, but anyways, really appreciate everything that you did on the way down and put me on the map. I'm a YouTuber now because of the
You are.
YouTube videos you made on my channel, but whatever,
It takes all kinds of YouTube videos to have a successful channel. You already had it started. Like you were well into it before I ever got my filthy hands on it.
Yeah, just needed to click that last button apparently, but
Well, if I
anyway,
can plug my YouTube channel, I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers. I only need 19 more.
Well, you're there.
I'm close. It's close. Just Bank Shift Billy YouTube channel. We're getting close.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It'll be a thing.
Definitely.
You've been has it been going up significantly since you've been putting the podcasts on it?
No, I wouldn't say significantly. But there's some, I mean, here or there, it's stagnated a little, like at 980, 981 is where it's at now. So we'll see. I mean, it's interesting, right? So I don't know if we need to
Go
market it
subscribe. If
differently
you're
or,
listening to this and you haven't
yeah,
subscribed, go subscribe.
yeah. And it's not even just to
100%.
the Bank Shift Billy channel. It's to get the podcast because this is where they live, is on the Bank Shift Billy YouTube channel. So yeah.
Yeah, because the commissioning bills paying me so far is not that good.
Oh, oh, Ethan, we've had you on here for like an hour and a half. Should we
It has been a
do
little
the,
bit, hasn't it?
yeah, Rich, should we do the questions, you think? The TKX round?
Sure.
All right. You want to kick it off? You want me to?
I'll kick it off.
All right.
What is the first car you owned or modified?
I had to write down the answers to this. I checked them right before I got on here. So I have to give you both at the same time because they both got modified. But the first car I owned was a 64 Plymouth Savoy. So the black car that I took to Miles of Mayhem, that was my dad built that car and I bought it from him. But there was a parts car attached to that car. And it was, well, it's exactly the same car, but a 3 on the tree. So that was the first car I owned. And it was true to my roots, a field car. Then the first car I drove on the road that I modified was a 78 Dodge Power Wagon with a 4-speed. And it was the first one I modified too. It got, well, the 360 that eventually landed back into that original parts car Savoy. It's they all sort of intertwined, but it got a nitrous kit and some good heads and a camshaft, and it was
Nice.
hilarious, but it wasn't fast. Like it was still a 5,000-pound iron head small block truck and it was all-wheel drive. They had this weird. It worked good. Like it was hilarious. It was really good for those 100-foot shootouts. I took it in that because you'd put it into low range and dump the clutch at all the RPM that 360 could make, and down you went. You didn't have to shift. You didn't have to do anything. Just down you went. It was fun. Those were the first two cars, anyways. I still have them both.
Nice.
Well, I haven't seen the Power Wagon on the channel.
It's
Have I?
the Power Wagon lives at my brother's place. He seemed more likely to get something done on it than I was. So I was like, well, you take it for now. And then he painted it yellow, and it's been sitting there since. It doesn't have a wiring harness or drivetrain in it at all, but it's sitting there painted. Like painted with a roller, I think. But whatever. It's yellow.
It's painted.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's jam that 4-speed into second gear. What, in your opinion, has been the biggest technology change to move our sport forward?
Availability of information. Whether it's just through the internet or via social media, and just the ability to connect with people who know when you have a question. Like if you're wondering about something or need to know how to do something, it's seconds away typically. Like you can find an answer, or you can find someone who has that answer, or can at least theorize with whatever little struggle you're having. Because like fuel injection follows really closely, or the availability of easy fuel injection. Like turbochargers were a thing that I was never going to get to unless I had fuel injection, because I wasn't interested in building the blow through carb or anything like that. And it's just like, oh, but fuel injection is not as complicated as it seems, number one. And also it's not complicated because you can get the information, like, or find someone who knows the information. Like it's just available. And like the throttle body things are like throttle body injection for me was really appealing because it looks the same. It fits on a 4150 flange, which everything I own has, and it's cheap, dirt cheap. So in comparison to doing anything else.
Yeah. No, I love how we get different answers with different guests. Like that's the first time anybody's given that answer for that. So that's great.
All right, now the tough question. If you could spend one day with someone other than Bill, who would it be and what would you do?
I'd spend a day on the dyno with Richard Holdner. I think if I had my choice, I'd spend a day. Just like he's got so much information, and he's always asking questions that I want to know the answer to, whether it's because it's like, well, how much boost will it make before it blows up? I want to know. Like that is exactly my kind of question. And like just any of that kind of testing I'm into, like testing 16 different intake manifolds just to see if they make more horsepower. Or I love that kind of testing, and I like seeing that kind of data too. So yeah, I think that'd be where it's at.
That's a good one.
I watch it. I watch a ton of his stuff. Yeah.
Agreed. I do too. All right. We'll grab fourth gear. We're almost out of gears on this one. What influences you to build your cars?
I would say 16-year-old Ethan does. As in, when I'm like, if I'm looking at a project that I have, which like Rich, I guess you had a very brief tour of my place when you dropped off my truck, but there's 20 cars on the premises, and half of them are just they're field beaters that's all they're ever going to be, and the other half are like, I have dreams and plans that will definitely I won't live long enough to do, but there's still dreams and plans that I have. And it's like, well, what would 16-year-old Ethan do with that project? And it's just like, okay, that's what we're going to do then. Like we have a Crown Victorian, we have a Ranger, we have a 302 and an AOD, and that just has to happen that way. That's what 16-year-old would choose. So that's a fair bit of it. Just If I think it's cool, good enough. If 16-year-old Ethan would have thought it was cool, that's the guy we're going to listen.
Awesome.
I like it. I like 16-year-old Ethan.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
absolutely. Okay, well, I guess we're in the SN95 now. We've got out of one of the other vehicles. It's got 4 speeds, and we're going to slam her into 5th. And what, in your opinion, is the secret to stick shift racing from 16-year-old Ethan?
Yeah, well, 16-year-old Ethan was a lot like current Ethan in the fact that he doesn't learn well from other people. He has to do it the hard way himself. And I think the secret that I haven't followed very well, but I'm trying to figure out a little bit better, is learn from the other people who've done it. Like, there's no need to break every component from the engine back in figuring out how to make a stick shift work. Like, you can bypass a lot of that if you ask some questions or do some watch the Clutch Burners podcasts. Like, there's a lot of things I could have avoided because the poor Dakota, like, it's broken every component behind the engine twice at least. Like, it's gone through transmission after there was a summer right after I first turbocharged it and had the reasonably healthy 360. Like, I broke every component in the drivetrain twice. Like, every time I went racing, it came back on a trailer. To the point that I started trailering the car there, and I knew I was lost at that point in time when it became so unreliable that you had to trailer it. Up until that point in time, it was being driven.
Nice. All right, now we're gonna. Sorry.
You had the Dakota out last year. What happened last year?
Broke the diff. No, it broke the yoke. I didn't break the diff. Yeah, yes. I took it out once, broke the yoke. There's we'll clutch control, I think, is what we need to go down the road of. Because that was with the 318 too. That was just a bone stock 318 that barely makes any boost. But
got it. All right. I don't know. Does a SN95 have 6 speeds? I don't think so.
That one does not.
We better step into Rich's 65 GTO, grab 6th gear, and then I'll ask you to tell us your first memory of making a pass in a stick car or truck.
Oh, that's an easy one. So that would have been in the Power Wagon. I was 16, I think. And everything's a race car when you're 16. That's the other benefit of listening to 16-year-old. Everything's a race car. The only thing that makes it not a race car is if you're not racing it. But other than that, it's a race car. But it was, 1978 Dodge Power Wagon, short box, step-side truck, and a 4-speed. I think I had the front diff pulled because it was an all-wheel drive deal, and then just put it into the lock. Yeah, it spun one tire for 1,000 feet. Like, there was just no. I think my brother took a video, and there's just a haze for 1,000 feet. I think it went 17 seconds or something like that, but just a haze of smoke. The whole, and I did no better to let out of it and try and get back into it, but it was on 30-year-old tires, and that was my first experience stick shift drag racing.
Awesome. Nice. Awesome.
You didn't hit the wall or nothing though, so.
Well, it was an open diff, so it just spun one, and that's makes it easier to control that way. It's really safe.
One wheeler peeler.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ethan, give us all your social media and sponsor plugs, and I'll put them in the notes as well. But go ahead.
Sure. First plug would be Cruise Culture Magazine. That's one of the benefits of doing YouTube is that Brian Holsey, the editor-in-chief of Cruise Culture Magazine, happened to also appreciate the weird, dumb stuff I do. And I've got to write for that magazine countless times, and it's the best experience ever. And also, it's the best magazine Canada has to offer by a long shot, in my opinion. So, and they'll ship anywhere in the world. If you're into a really high-quality printed magazine, that's the one to go to. Sylvan Auto Parts, they sponsor my local racetrack, and they supplied some pistons for our little 302 project, so want to thank them. And Total Transmission Chicago as well. just again for that torque converter that was very kind of them. As far as socials, it's Heathens Garage on everything. That's all you have to hunt for. There's HeathensGarage.com as well as a website if you're into a picture of a Jeep or turbochargers or some other stuff that's on there. But
yeah, you got merch there, right?
yeah,
Sweaters
there's
and
some merch
shirts.
there. Yeah.
All right.
Big
Awesome.
time.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it. You got anything else, Rich? This has been a good one.
Nope. Other than you know, like I said, I really appreciate Ethan. You know, riding in the back seat of that car for 7,000 miles and making the YouTube videos, and I look forward to the next couple that are just going to finish out the series. And thanks for educating me and some of my friends on, you know, how to actually get monetized on YouTube and do all that stuff. So really appreciate your time tonight, and our friendship that we created through another Dragon Drive.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thanks, Ethan. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And we all appreciate you listening to Clutch Burners on your favorite podcast platforms. And we'd love it if you picked up some of our merch also. Head over to stickracing.com, grab a Stick Shift Nation shirt, hat, or sticker. And you can also go to bangshiftbilly.com and pick up some merch there. I've got some t-shirts and stuff on there as well. So, and subscribe, get it to 1,000. That would be awesome. All right, guys, I think we'll call this one a wrap. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Later.
All right. Later.
You bet. See you guys.